All right, you guys, this video is to help you figure out how to use your Moldbux at the end of the semester. So in case you didn't know, the way that your grade is broken down for this semester is that your first quarter grade is 40% of your semester grade, your second quarter is 40%, and your final exam is 20%. So turning this into an equation, we take the first quarter grade times 0.4, second quarter grade times 0.4, and the final times 0.2, and that will add up to what your semester grade will be on your final report card that comes in January. So how can you use your Moldbux to help you? Where you can add Moldbux, you can add it to your second quarter grade, the one that's currently in Harmony, or you can add it to the test score that on the final that you're going to take this week, okay? So when we add Moldbux to either of those places, remember the first quarter is set in stone. You can't change that grade anymore, unfortunately. But when we add Moldbux, 3 Moldbux is equal to 2%. So I only take them in multiples of 3. So if you don't have multiples of 3, then whatever's left over will get rolled over for second semester. Like I said, you cannot change the first quarter grade anymore. It's set in stone. It is what it is. Okay? And because you are at honors, the highest you can take your quarter score, your 9 weeks grade is to a 98%. And the test, you can take it up to a 105%. So we're going to go through some scenarios just to see 3 different options of what happens and how to calculate your grade if you need that help. But just so you know, I will not be doing anything with Moldbux unless you tell me where to put them exactly. Okay, so you will need to tell me where to put your Moldbux through email or Remind, and I will do it after I finish all the grading and get everything figured out. Okay, so these are some scenarios where we are just calculating grades using that equation that I showed before. Okay, so if student A had 88% in the first quarter, currently has 83% in the second quarter, what do they need to get on the final to end the semester with a B? Okay, so thinking about that equation that we had before, the semester grade is equal to the first quarter times 0.4 plus the second quarter times 0.4 plus your test, your final, times 0.2. Okay, so a lot of times we'll know what the test score is and then we can solve for the semester grade. But in this case, we know what we want our semester grade to be for student A, but we don't know what that means for them to get on this final, on the test. So let's see. So I'm going to plug in my 88% for the first quarter times 0.4, and then I'm going to plug in the 83% for the second quarter. I don't know what I want on the final, so I'm going to just throw X in for the test and then keep the 0.2, okay? And they want a B. So a B could be anywhere. Technically a B minus would be 80%, all the way up to an 89% would be a B plus. So let's just pick middle of the road, 85, okay? So let's say that they wanted to end the semester with an 85. What do they need to get on the final, okay? So now we just go ahead and solve. So 88 times 0.4 is 35.2. 83 times 0.4 is 33.2. And we don't know X, that's our test score, times 0.2. Okay, so I can add the 33.2 plus the 35.2 and get 68.4 plus X times 0.2. So then next we would take 85 minus 68.4 and get 16.6 is equal to X times 0.2. So to get X by itself, we have to divide both sides by 0.2. So 16.6 divided by 0.2 is an 83. So what that means is student A needs to get an 83% on the final exam to get an 85% for the overall semester grade. Now, what if they only got like a 78? That's where MOLDUX come in, and we can use MOLDUX to our advantage to help raise our grade to what we want it to be for the semester, or just make it as high as possible. Sometimes that's what we want to do too. Okay, so let's show for student B how we can use the MOLDUX. Okay, so student B has 8 MOLDUX to use. They had a 78% in the first quarter and currently have an 84% in the second quarter. They're doing better this quarter, that's good. If they get an 88% on the final, where should they put their MOLDUX to help the most? So let's first figure out what is their semester grade without MOLDUX, okay? So they had a 78 for the first quarter, and they have an 84 for the second quarter, and they got an 88 on the final. Nice job, I hope they didn't cheat. Oops, I forgot the point 4. Sorry, there. So let's figure out what is their semester grade going to be. So 78 times 0.4 plus 84 times 0.4. Don't forget, if you're not a parentheses wizard, but maybe you should solve for each part before adding them all together. But to speed up this video, I am doing it. Okay, so they currently got an 82.4%. That is a B minus. They would love to get a B or a B plus. Let's see what we can do for them. Okay, so student B has 8 MOLDUX, but remember we can only use in groups of 3. So 6 is the total MOLDUX that they can use. 6 MOLDUX, which would be 4%. Okay, so that means that they'll have 2 MOLDUX left to go into the second quarter or second semester. So they'll have some MOLDUX to lead them on for next semester. Okay. So with that 4%, those 3 MOLDUX, we can either add them. Remember, we can add them to the second 9-week grade, or we can add them to the test. Let's see what helps us the best. Let's add all 4% to the 9 weeks. Okay. So that takes it from an 84 up to an 88. And see what their grade will be for the 9 weeks or for the semester. Remember, the first quarter does not change. Okay, so 78 times 0.4 plus 88 times 0.4 plus 88 times 0.2. They get an 84% B. So that's pretty good. That got them up from a B minus to a B, which is nice. But let's just see what we would, let's change it. Instead of adding the full amount to the second quarter grade, let's take it, instead of an 84, let's take it to an 86, and then add the other 2% to your exam to make that a 90. Just to see, does it help, does it hurt? What's the difference? Okay, so this time, get an 83.6, which would round up to an 84B, so that's basically the same. So really, that didn't make much of a difference where we put the MOLDUX. So, you know, it is good to know that the second quarter grade has more weight because it's 40% of the grade than the final. But let's try student C scenario where they can't add any MOLDUX to their second quarter grade because they had a 91% for the first quarter, they had a 97% for the second quarter, and they got a 67% on the final. Okay, so let's first figure out what they have before we start adding. So for our semester grade, we're going to take 91 times 0.4 plus 97 times 0.4 plus 67 times 0.2. 88.6, which would round up to an 89 B plus. Okay. They want an A, as high an A as we can get them. Well, the highest, remember, that you can take a 9 weeks grade for honors is a 98. And I only take 3% or 2% for 3 Molebecks. I don't take anything less. So unfortunately, we cannot add any Molebecks to the second quarter grade because that is too high for Molebecks to be added. So we can add as many Molebecks as we need to the test to try and get the grade as high as we can. Well, student C has 14 Molebecks. That's not a multiple of 3, so we can use a total of 12, which would be 8%, and that would leave 2 left over for second quarter, or for second semester. Okay, well, let's see, let's just add all the Molebecks. How about that? All 8% to the test. And then if student C doesn't like that, they can always take less if they want to save some more, but the number of Molebecks that you earned this first semester will be the same number of Molebecks you earned second semester. Or if you didn't earn that many, maybe you'll try harder to get more second semester. Okay, so sorry, I forgot to add 8. So 67 plus 8 would be 75. Yep, just want to check myself. Okay, so let's figure out what their grade is. Okay, and I got to a 90.2%, A minus. I think that's where they're gonna have to end. Let me just double check. Yeah, 90.2. So because they weren't able to add any more, still got an A, bringing up that D plus to a C for their final exam. And they were able to end with the A minus overall, which it is nice. The honors class is weighted, so that's helpful. Okay, so these are just some scenarios to show you how to work it out. You will need to work it out yourself in order to know what to do. So how will you know your exam grade? Well, remember that everybody gets access to take the finals starting at Wednesday at 8:30, and it closes at 4 o'clock on Friday. It is a time test for most people, so you just want to make sure that you take that in time. So that means that if you start it at 3:30 on Friday, you might be cut short. You might not be able to take the whole thing. So plan accordingly to give yourself plenty of time. I know for honors classes, the final time is scheduled for Friday, but if you would like to take it earlier than that, or if you want to take it like Wednesday night or something, you can take it at any time between Wednesday and Friday. When you get it completed, I will start grading them. So anyone who takes the final on Wednesday morning, I will probably have it graded by Wednesday afternoon. And like Wednesday afternoon will be Thursday morning, like that. So I will email you shortly after I get it graded. You won't be able to see your grade in Harmony, and you won't be able to see the grade on It's Learning. You will only be able to see the grade by me contacting you. So if you would like to wait to use Molebecks until you know your numbers, that's fine. But just know that if you complete your test on Friday afternoon, I'm leaving at 3 o'clock on Friday because my winter break starts at 3 o'clock on Friday, just like yours. So you probably will not receive your email with your grade in it on Friday if you take it too late, okay? So if you want to know what your exam is, I would suggest probably taking it a little bit early so that you can know that. And if you don't get it back, then still email me because 3 o'clock on Friday is kind of the cutoff on how Molebecks want to be done. And again, you can add Molebecks without even knowing what your grade will be. You can just tell me, I want to add 4% onto my semester grade, and I will make sure that happens, okay? What else can you do to raise your grade? Have you completed all your assignments from chapters 9 and 10? Anything from chapters 9 and 10, which I think that starts with, if you look back in Harmony, the first grade for chapter 9 was called Ionic Compounds. And it was like a 30-point assignment. So anything from there on, which was when we were virtual the last time, can be submitted through Friday to get graded and I will not take off late points, and I will not take away Moldux for it. Just get it in, and that will help your grade even better than Moldux will. Then, earning more Moldux, you can complete the 2 chemistry puns that are this week. The first one closes Wednesday afternoon, and the second one opens Wednesday morning. And I will probably be submitting Moldux on that second one as they come in, so that you know exactly what your grand total of Moldux is to be able to be used, okay? And last but not least, have you actually studied for the final? I'm going to be posting the answer keys for the study guide very soon. I need to finish those and get those uploaded. And there's also quizzes, games, tips that are linked on the schedule for this week that you can play, and you should probably make sure that you can have all the handouts that you're allowed to use. Some of them we haven't used since like early November, so it's been a while. Make sure that you have all those handouts so that you have them ready to be used, okay? Contact me. I don't know if you're struggling unless you reach out to me. So please reach out if you need help, if you need me to go over something that was from earlier this year that you don't remember. I am here. I can be contacted. But again, remember to contact me to tell me how you want to use your Moldux. I will not be adding Moldux unless I am told exactly what to do. So make sure that you do that, okay? Have a good day.